Hey YouTube, welcome to Law Lego. And what you see in front of you is the brick bank. Alright, it's a modular. Everybody's seen this modular. There's been tons and tons and tons of reviews out there. But that's not why I'm bringing this out. This is a build I just completed this past weekend. But what I want to talk about for this is particularly how I built this. This wasn't a set I went out and purchased. This wasn't a set that I got from somebody or whatever else, and it was in a bulk lot or whatever. This is something what I parted out. So I want to go through, not necessarily review the brick bank, but more of the part out process and how that works and time frames and all that type of stuff. And some of the modifications I did the building to make it more my own through the part out process. Um, so I mean, it's the standard brick bank. I mean, facade looks kind of the same. There's definitely some differences, and I'll walk through that in a moment. Um, the laundromat side, same type of thing. There's some different subtle differences for parts, but overall look and feel is the same if you were looking at the brick bank if you got it through Lego and got it through the store. I mean, the full box, the full look, right? If we go through, same type of look and feel, but it's mine. It's not just, again, it's not just the set. It's what I parted out and how I did it. So let's take the roof first. So again, a lot of the parts were parts that I had on hand, and that's what I used. Or it took me about a year and change to actually get this thing built out. Whether it was I had parts on hand, ordered stuff through Bricklink or Brick Owl. There's a fence piece that's coming in that fell off, so I gotta get that replaced, but that's coming in. But again, it's all my own parts. And in here, you'll see, like, hey, there's certain colors that it should be, right? Oops. Let me just take the chandelier out of the way. I'm actually going to modify this because I'm going to change this up a little bit, but this is accurate. It's all supposed to be black with the clear. But I think I'm going to change some of this out on the chandelier piece. But if you take a look in the back there, see the light blue gray pieces there. It should be all white there. Again, it's mine. There's some changes that I made based on the parts I had. So for the most part, this is all the same. I made a couple of small changes with different parts within here. But again, it takes a while because from one of the big things this set had is the sand green windows. That's one of the specialty pieces, specialty that's out there. And there's been a lot of sand green stuff that's coming out more and more, so it's not as a specialty item. So if we take a look in here, some of the on the second floor again, same type of thing. All right, that popped off. We can fix that in a second. But like I haven't finished putting in some of the smaller details, like on the desk here. But I mean, that's not that big of a deal. A couple of the changes on the desk here. One of these pieces I think is supposed to be brown. Obviously, that's a different letter type than what's supposed to be there. But overall, it's captured that same look, feel of the brick bank. I mean, you've got the gray bird back there and everything else. But if we take a look on the side here, oh, wasn't pressed down all the way. Fix that. These are supposed to be profile bricks, not masonry, right? Profile bricks. And I've got a couple different colored rail pieces. So what? When you're parting out a set like this, you're going to make design choices. You're going to make some color choices because you're not going to have everything as it is as you wanted it to be there. And it also gives you your own flavor to it too. And I'll really show that on the first floor here. So let me put these back together real quick. Slide this out of the way. Okay, so now one of the bigger things. So these windows here, I had gotten those a long while ago because I knew I wanted to part this out. Like I said, it's taken me a year and a half to get all the parts, get what I wanted. So I'll fix that there. But one of the few of the things, right? So there's like little subtle changes with the flower beds in the front. I'm actually going to probably make some changes here and may put like an ATM type machine because I mean you've got ATMs there, right? I've tried to find a lot of the original glass, so like the Soap and Suds, this design set. But one of the things that I changed up here was these windows here, right? They're supposed to be trans green, trans clear. Well, I didn't have them at the time, and I'm like, well, I want to build the windows out. So I went with the sand green and the white. I really like how it came out because it ties together a lot of the roof windows, everything else, and it gives it just that different look that I think that makes it more my own. I do want to add a couple more flowers in here and stuff. If we look up top, right, you got a lot of the same type of play features that are in the brick bank, right? You've got the whole chute that comes down here for the person who's trying to break in to lift up into the safe, right? And you can see that's supposed to be like a yellow. I think I used trans yellow. Who cares? A lot of the money stuff's font the same, but if you look, and it's hard to tell. Well, actually, you can see it. There's some color differences. They're supposed to be. You can definitely see it within the laundromat area. It was supposed to be dark tan, light tan combinations, but I didn't have them. So I went with what I had, and I've got some dark brown, some dark orange, light tan to make it more my own. Again, but I mean, obviously, I kept the as much as you can see it. The laundry machines are there. That play function is still there. Um, in the interior of the bank section itself, that's pretty much the same. Oh, actually, just realized I forgot to put the ink quill in there. I can fix that later. But I captured what I wanted to capture in this build to make it more my own. I mean, you can still see like the whole safe area, that's still the same. Uh, the tiles, if you notice, they're supposed to be 2x2. I went 2x4. Like, okay, I have them. Why do I need to go with? Let's see if you can. Yeah, you can see that a little bit better. Go with that. Um, Back here was supposed to be light blue gray, I think, or dark, either medium stone gray or medium dark blue gray. I'm thinking between brick owl and bricklink colors. But this was supposed to be a different color pattern, and have it. Okay, move on. Get what I've got and just do it. I didn't put a lot of the. If you look at the brick bank, hey, on the 32 by 32 plate, obviously there's a lot more tile, a lot more of that. But I'm putting this into my city versus like my other modulars are up on a different shelf right now. My modulars are not in my city. But this modular that would be an official Lego modular is my own. Um, yes, I use Lego instructions. It's not a mock, but it's a parted out set with modifications. I made it more my own. So yeah. So some things that I would improve on if I do this part out type process again. One of the first things I would do is in dealing with actually getting them, following the directions for all the parts and stuff. I'll close this down a little bit. Um, would be taking a look at all the instructions and putting the parts together and kind of like, hey, here's steps 1 through 10. All the parts for steps 1 through 10 are in a bag, right? As I part out. Hey, steps 11 through 20, same type of thing. I found that when I was on live streams with Matt or just building on my own, even though I had a good chunk of parts and a lot of them are standard type parts, I found myself getting frustrated at points because I'm like, well, I know I have this part. Where is this part? Digging through either plastic bags or other buckets and stuff, and it just aggravated me. And I was like, I'm putting the building aside. I wanted to build this build, get it done fairly quickly. Um, but that that was a lesson learned. So something I can improve on the next time if I do something like this. Um, but overall, I enjoyed from a build perspective. I enjoyed the build itself. There are a lot of cool techniques that I'm going to be able to use in mocks. Like the whole chandelier piece, I think is really cool. Where I'll use that again, I don't know as of yet. But learning some of the roof technique for um, all that piece keeps popping off. For this window set, again, that's something that you could reuse. I mean, all it is basically hinges and 1x2 plates, and put it all together and space it out right, and bingo bango, you're done. I thought it was a really, really cool technique, and then it's like, oh, all right, that's something I can use later on down the road. So that's kind of my review of the part out process. It's great if you want to take a look at sets and you want to do color changes. There's been people that have done, I think it's Cafe Corner, or oh no, the Green Grocer, where I think it's the sand green brick that's like mega, mega, mega expensive. So they've done color changes because use a different color that's a cheaper price, build it out, and you've got your green grocer that's in blue. Um, but that's how you can get some of these modulars and do it in a different fashion. And then even just thinking about it, you tweak it out. Hey, you know what? I really didn't. Okay, I didn't have those. So you know what? I'll make it this way and change it up a little bit. So, and like the windows down here. Hey, I don't have all those parts. I've got all these parts. Make a quick change. Boom, done. So that's kind of my review of a part out. Um, So if there's anybody that's got thoughts in the wants to leave in the comments section about parting out sets or sets they'd like to part out in the future, I may do another part out set again for some stuff. Uh, Probably not for not for a while. I gotta get back to some of my other mocks and working on the Daily Bugle, and gotta finish up that tuning workstation workshop mock. So that is it. So I appreciate you coming to watch La Lego, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.